Hello and welcome. Welcome
Welcome
All
to the podcast.
welcome to the podcast. Hello and well met. People are the dice. I am Urorik, and you're listening to Probability of Demise. We're a group of
German
storytellers.
edition or something?
I come from the north, yeah. We're a group of storytellers playing a nerdy game using chance and our imaginations to provide rules and structure to Atland, a world of our own maker. Atland exists
We
on a
makered it
version of
ourselves.
Earth thousands of years into the future. A planet left vulnerable by science and infected with magic. This is a world far different from the one you know today. Continents have shifted, cities have arisen, and new creatures and peoples of varied origin dot the wondrous landscapes. Thank you for coming with us as we explore it together. And today is a very special, odd session where we have a guest, and it's all like by surprise. No planning. We don't do that planning. But our surprise guest is Andy of the Andy Fan Fame.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, welcome back.
Thank you. Happy
So,
to be here.
Andy, what's been going on since last time we talked to you in person?
Well, I've just been keeping up with the wonderful Probability of Demise. It's been a blast watching you all, and otherwise it's the usual work, try and have some fun, keep up with you guys.
Every day. And Larissa and Jason, you came here so swiftly with food in mouth and things flying in all directions, internet crashing. What could you possibly have been up to just before our show began?
We were at a rehearsal for the Stonewall Corral.
Ooh.
.org.
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 Yes. So that is still coming, and we'll get a chance to do announcements of that nature and everything in a moment. If we want to get into more detail, I think Larissa generally has like everything in her head.
Also, we have sad news that Jessica has died.
Uh-oh.
In her heart.
Hang on.
But otherwise, she's fine. She's just she's very sick and not here. So
yeah, she's not here. She's not dead. Do not start rumors on the internet, Jason.
I'm sorry. I don't want to hear anything about starting rumors. I don't want to hear anything, any of it. Nope.
Says-
I start
Pirate Queen.
imaginary rumors in imaginary spaces. Actually, I don't even start them. I just facilitate them successfully.
since all of my dice
Loaded
betrayed
dice,
me
loaded
last
dice.
week, I'm trying to find dice
Nice.
I haven't used before.
Thank you for the verbal reminder.
Okay.
I have them.
tonight,
I have them.
Tonight we're going to take a very special outtake from events that have already occurred. Asher, Trixie, Tanzanite took a portal back to Overton in order to deal with some rumors that they were following up on. But what may have slipped their minds is they left behind the crew of the airship, some healers, and some members of Asher's growing guild, Lutes and Lyres.
In our defense, it's been like a day and a half. They're going to be fine.
No, it's been a week and a half by now.
Been...
You've been sailing.
Oh, yeah.
You've been hiking through the swamp back and forth. Actually, I think it's close to 3 weeks at this point.
Listen, they're on paid time off. They'll be all right. Relaxing in a castle. Probably
So we're
not getting
taking-
into
No, we're not.
dragons.
Taking advantage of this moment to go to the space that those individuals are in. These. It's time to go and visit not the main character folk, the support team, and see what's going on in their lives. So today, actually, I think it was legitimately just today, maybe a little bit yesterday, the three folks with you rolled up some characters. As soon as I got that character information, I started writing frantically, creating some scenarios based on the previous scenarios that we already had that would work with the characters that they wrote. So we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a little off the cuff in some instances, and in other instances, not at all. But yay.
Or a lot.
What's
Or
that?
a lot off the cuff.
Or a lot off the cuff. I don't know what's going on, but Larissa and Jason are both a little bit quiet. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
What?
Hang on. My mic seems to be not disconnected, but
Distance.
I've got all yellow. So hang on.
Okay.
That's a lot of dice.
I might just not be close enough. Hello.
Hello.
So we are going to skip the character description because we'll have that as part of our storytelling today. But I wanted to go ahead and jump into some announcements. And I don't know if it's going to be Andy or Jason, but who wants to take on the first announcement?
Well, hey, if you have not listened to the last few episodes, we have merch now. Rick, Andy, please back up from here.
Ooh.
Check out this awesome t-shirt.
We have t-shirts and this logo on stickers and cups and coffee cups and mugs and many other choices. So you can find them here at this link I'm dropping in the comments or find it in the show notes. So if you would like to rep our podcast, by all means.
They're comfortable. I would highly recommend getting
Actually, not bad fabric. That was actually pretty impressive. If you see a fairly tall, awkward-looking person at Portland FanCon in February, I think it is, that's probably me because I'm the only one who's going to be wearing that particular tombstone with the tongue sticking out of it. So feel free to say hi. In my dreamlands, that actually happens.
Someday.
Larissa, are you in a good spot ready to...
Can you hear me better?
Yes, so much better.
Okay.
We're back to that accent now, are we?
Oh yeah.
I just spent a week with my parents, let me tell you.
What is the Midwestern phrase that means, okay, we're done here, go home? Yelp? Or
don't you know? Then
you slap your thighs and you stand up and there's this whole thing, but there's words that go with that are just
well, I suppose, maybe. Well, I suppose.
Yep.
Well, I suppose, yep, that's what it is.
Yeah. Anywho, so as Rurik mentioned, Jason and I were just at a rehearsal. We had an intensive this weekend for our upcoming concert on March 25th, Saturday, 7:30 p.m. in New York City at Church of the Holy Apostles, which is on 9th Avenue and 28th Street, West Side, obviously. And the piece we are performing is a passion. It's a 33 movement passion. Do you mind?
No one can hear her now. You have to explain why.
No, they're just like they're just wrestling now.
Who?
So
the
dogs,
unseen people want to know. I mean, they can't see. They're still on a podcast. Those of you who are listening to the podcast, Larissa legitimately just showed everybody via video the dogs behaving like little punkadoodles.
Yeah.
But I was being the punkadoodle messing with her.
But anyways,
yes.
The piece we're doing is a 33 movement piece called Considering Matthew Shepard. It is the composer is Craig Hella Johnson, and there's a bunch of different styles in it. It's a very rich multi-voice. Like, it's not just one soprano line, one alto line, one tenor line, one bass line for the majority of it. There's a lot of divisi and a very, very rich full sound. There's some really intense movements, and basically it walks through the events leading up to, during, and after Matthew Wayne Shepard's murder in, when was it, 96? I think it was 96.
Something like around then, yeah.
I was but a child.
98. Yes, I remember it was my first year of college. I had graduated high school that same year and I was going into college. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just remember it really messed up all of my thinking about going into university.
Yeah. So, so if you are in the area and you want to come see us, you can buy tickets at stonewallcorral.org/buy-tickets. And if you aren't able to attend, but you would like to support the performance, paying our accompanists, or the instrumentalists, helping us pay for rehearsal space and renting the performance hall. You can also donate on that same website. And also, I believe we are going to be recording this concert so that later on, a few weeks after the performance, we will be premiering it on our YouTube channel. which will likely be for free. As from my understanding, as of right now, I think we're planned for it to be free. So, but yeah.
All right. And with that, we are at what would normally be word of the day, but our word of the day maestro is currently ill. She will be back. It's just illness. She's not dead. Rumor starter.
It's the word of the day.
What is it?
Andy's our alternate word of the day guy. He picked absent a couple weeks ago. So
Oh, so it's absent again? Or are we doing something else now?
I was thinking unexpected.
Unexpected.
An unexpected one shot. And we're going to make the most of it.
And then we also have the roll for commercial usually. I'm not sure. Do we need this today? I feel like we're going to have a very intense, quick one shot. And maybe the commercial could go away. Yeah?
I don't care. I'll do it if you want me to do it. I don't know if we're doing a break or anything. So
I think we should be okay.
I think we'll be all right.
And then the last option on our normal agenda would be to roll for the recap. But guess what? We don't gotta.
Saved, Jason.
So just for fun, Jason, would you just roll this out, see what's going to go on for us for the day? I'll roll against you just to get rid of my nat 20s that I'm rolling all day.
I rolled a 10 for recap. Fake recap.
Oh, see, fake recap doesn't matter. I rolled a 13.
I rolled a nat 1.
The opportunity. Actually, Larissa, you rolled a nat 1. I feel like that's even like triple horrible. You have to go remind us what happened when the team left way back when from Mary's Beard Stealth.
Yeah, what's everybody been up? What's been up? What are the word? Goodbye.
Wow.
What's everybody been up to back at the
We are off to the races. We've only been doing this for what, a year and a half?
I do words. See, my words usually stop working at 6:30, and now it's late. So sorry, everyone.
You're not playing after.
He's fine. Don't let him fool you.
That's right.
All right. So here with a little bit of a switch over for music, we will get right into it after these messages from our imaginary sponsors.
Oh dear. Oh dear. He's catching up.
Abandoned diplomats and lies. It's been a couple of days since 3 now timeless members of a trio abandoned their cohort of friends and compatriots and left them in Mare Beard's Delve without an airship and without a method of travel back to Overton. Vaughn, frustrated, angry, and perhaps a little vengeful, took advantage of the first day or so to just get affairs in order here in Mare Beard's Delve, working with her friend Xavier and another couple of individuals, Bix and Darthos, to set the situation up for success in the future. But it only took a little while to really pave the way forward. And now the 4 have been stuck in somebody else's lodgings on somebody else's dime, with mounting pressure as new rumors circulate and begin to bring frustration to bear. Darthos, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, would you care to describe yourself so everybody gets a sense of who you are and where you're at the moment?
So my character is Darthos. He has a separate voice, which I'm not going to do right now because He does already talk to himself in the third person, or talk about himself in the third person. So
Oh,
it would
no.
it would be like unable to be separated. So he is about 2.5 feet tall. He's a kobold from Underton. Under Underton, kind of. He's part of the Cartbold clan. And essentially he's a tinkerer. He likes to work with his hands, basically kind of being around the pure water as it was, developed some magical abilities and started being able to infuse those into his tinkerings. And then when the Cartbolds found out about it, they tried to, force him to rig races and rip people off, and that wasn't really what he was about. So he decided to leave under the cover of night in a Grand's Brand's ship. That's it. And go to Fisherton, where Fawn found him selling his little bits and bobs. So
Excellent. So Darthos is a kobold individual. So you definitely are seeing some of the aspects of that heritage in terms of their look and feel. And
yes.
I'm just curious, does Darthos have a tail?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And that because he uses it for balance. If he needs to like grab another thing, he'll use his like toes on his feet, his little claws, to like grab something far away, like if his hands are busy. So it's like he uses it to stabilize himself.
Easily able to see this little tinkerer, hands in all directions. Definitely.
If I boop his snoot, will he get mad at me?
Yes, and he has very sharp teeth, and I wouldn't recommend it.
Xavier, can you go ahead and describe yourself?
Xavier is a 27-year-old male human, a roguish type, as it were, but likes to stay within the law. Considers the law bendable, but not necessarily breakable. However, the law also can be what he interprets it to be, so to speak. Very much so likes to have insight into what's happening in the world. Very, very good at both persuading people to do things and using deception if it's necessary to do things. Out on the streets for quite a while, ended up with a few people from Grand's Brands, and they noticed the talents and been working for them ever since.
And that takes us to Bix.
Hello. I'm Jason and I play Bix. Bix is a barbarian who grew up in the region of Canyonville, and he wanted to get out of like the barbarian, like roaming the fields, conquering neighbors, whatever lifestyle. And so he like went to Canyonville, where he at one point met Fawn, and then decided he maybe wanted to try the life of a bard. He still gets to travel, but doesn't have to necessarily like be violent all the time and do things that barbarian clans do. So he's like, he doesn't want to like war and stuff all the time. He just wants to. Now he's really into his singing, and he's got one whole level in it, and that's the level of skill he's bringing to the table for that. And but he works in Lutes and Lyres for Fawn as a message sender receiver. So he's
a messenger.
Yes. So he's like traveling with them for that reason. Like he just came with Fawn to like support crew. I do words.
And I think all of you have, over the course of time, and I'll just have you, this will be the first rolls. Everybody's going to roll this. I would like you to roll insight. It's a group insight check in a way, but it's also going to determine the order in which you started to figure things out.
27.
Insight, right?
Yep.
Do I want to know?
Oh,
Is it a nat 20? Oh, 1? Okay. She started to laugh. I knew it was one or the other. 16.
I mean, it really didn't matter.
Okay.
But
Xavier, you were the first to pick this up, and you and your relationship with Fawn might have a little bit deeper history than the others, which is probably what led you to this. She kind of recruited you before Lutes and Lyres was even a thing, and you remember her foster mother was honestly the one who recruited you.
Oh, Miss M.
And then after the dragon attacks in their hometown of Fisherton, Fawn took over the organization. And then when the return of the Timeless Trio occurred, you were part of that transition of taking those folks who had been recruited to kind of keep ears and eyes out on the world and try to make sure that the world was a safe place through whatever means necessary. You were part of the transition that helped turn it from being a ramshackle spiderweb of folk into the Lutes and Lyres Guild. And so it was fairly easy for you to spot Fawn's recruitment of Bix, mostly because Bix had a natural talent that Fawn seems fond of utilizing with regard to interactions with small creatures. You have often witnessed Fawn using small creatures to pass messages back and forth, and have occasionally been the recipient of strange messages that shouldn't have been able to land with you the way they did. But sometimes butterflies, hummingbirds, and bats give you a little extra moment of consideration in your day-to-day life now. Bix, you picked up on things fairly quickly as well, that you weren't the only person in support. You're just not sure who else these other people are. And based on a roll earlier today that happened pre-show, you still don't get why you're relaying all these messages from these animals that make no sense whatsoever to you.
I have a very low security clearance.
High security clearance, low ability to interpret, same thing. Darthos, you know Fawn is fond of you and has been leveraging your talents. To your mind, you're the only one here in support of Fawn, and so you've been going the extra mile to make sure that Fawn is successful. Nobody else seems to be helping Fawn. There's that one individual bumbling about talking to the animals all the time. And then there's that slippery fellow that you think is here, but you're honestly not that certain is here. Except that every once in a while, there's a conversation where there's somebody else there in the shadow. The three
Xavier's
of
actually
you
dark
are
winged up.
gathered together with Fawn in the Timeless Trio's fortress. And you three are witnessing Fawn stomping back and forth, wearing a hole in the pavers of this space that you're within. She's already worn through the carpet, you're fairly certain, as she continues to have a tirade about forgetful young fools. It's interesting seeing that in normal timelines, she's younger than the people she's speaking of, but she does have 8 years on them at this point. She's no longer a young teen and is, in fact, a full adult with more years of experience than any of the Timeless Trio.
Isn't she like 2 or 3 years older than Azure now? Isn't that how that
Yeah.
ended up evening out? Yeah.
And you three are sitting there listening to her grumble when a loud cracking of glass occurs. I would like everybody to roll a perception check. If you have advantage on it, or if you have anything that gives you bonuses to being caught unawares, go ahead and make sure you roll with advantage.
16.
26.
10.
Okay. Xavier,
I have disadvantage on perception checks.
I know it kind of makes sense based on your character, but I know.
How things are going so far? Yep, this tracks.
Bix, you see outside of the kind of frosted, multicolor paned window a shape that makes you very uncomfortable pressing up on the glass, and you have moments to decide what to do. This shape is not humanoid, and it's already, you can see one talon has pierced through that cracked glass. What do you say or do in this moment?
I'm gonna like back away as I'm like taking my axe off and be like, boss, we got a problem.
Xavier, you've had enough time to spot that not only is there this creature outside, but there's two figures behind your boss and the small kobold creature. What do
Okay.
you do in this last minute moment as you notice them?
I take out 2 daggers, one in each hand, and say, Fawn, little thing, get down.
In this moment where the two of you are going to, Bix and Xavier, based on your roll, you're going to, Fawn rolled terribly, so she's going to roll with disadvantage. But the two of you get to roll with advantage on this lovely moment of combat. Darthos, you get to roll straight up, regular roll.
Just a regular? Okay.
Talking about for initiative?
For initiative, yes.
What if I already have advantage on initiative?
Then you just get to keep advantage on the initiative. Sorry.
15. Oh, wait, with advantage, right?
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
Sorry, there's no such thing as double initiative, even though that would be really cool.
21.
16 then.
Okay, so Bix got 21. Darthos got what?
22.
Wow. And Xavier, you got what?
16. Really
Hey.
low roll.
Well, all of you rolled better than the folks that you're up against. So you have that moment of knowledge. And Darthos, for some reason, the warning from Xavier is enough for you to pop up and swivel around and be the first one to react to this threat. As you see just behind you a being who just normally you'd say that they look like an everyday humanoid creature of the tall sort, being as you're not necessarily of the tall sort. But you can see this one's dressed in robes and has a strange mask that looks like a artistic rendition in small scale of a dragon. And you can hear that piercing of glass still behind you. But that's really all you're able to make out in this moment. What do you do with that highest initiative roll?
I mean, I will do as I was advised, and I'm going to duck down, and I am going to touch the spot in where Fawn has been treading, and I'm going to say, "Please fix this," and I'm going to cast Mending on the carpet.
So you see threads come together on the ground. And where before each little component of the carpet had been kind of getting worn and torn apart, and they just start to weave together in this moment as Darthos fixes the carpet.
Hold on. Just because I'm not exactly quite sure how to do this. How do I set up my cannon? my eldritch
Oh.
cannon.
Yeah, that is in your so you can oops, let me so many buttons clicking.
Oh, create. I see. Wait,
Yeah.
no, once per long rest. Okay. I can take an action. Okay, got it. So I have to take an action and then I can use a bonus action to fire it. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to at that point I am going to move. I'm gonna like scurry since I'm close to the ground already. Once I see that the carpet is fixed. And I'm gonna like try to find a corner so that I can like situate my cannon that it is best strategically shooting at the invaders and not anybody else in the room.
So you've only made out one invader so far. Can you go ahead and roll a perception check for reconnoitering? And since we know you have disadvantage on this,
6.
well, 6. You roll into a position where you have this great view of the one person you've found, and you're kind of blocked from the hall and the window, but you can see that one individual, and you can see Fawn just to the side. So that's your action movement. Anything else you're gonna do for us, or
I don't think I have
fix the
anything else.
carpet?
I don't think I have anything else in my bonus action though. And then I just
okay.
here.
All right, so that's Darthus' turn. Bix, you're up next based on initiative order.
So there is like something hanging onto the outside of the window. Is that what we're seeing?
You've just gotten this warning from Xavier, and because Darthos had rolled so high, I was giving them a little bit of information about what they might be seeing. I think that Darthos' movement would cue you in easily to the being that showed up behind it. And you saw the window. You knew what's going on in the window.
Okay.
So
there's something inside.
was
Sorry, there's something inside as well?
the two figures inside you are unaware of, except now that Darthos has moved, you are aware of one of them.
Okay, I will pull out my great axe and give it a chop.
The thing in the window?
No, the one that is in the room.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Natural 20.
Nice.
My dice love me again. Well, all new dice, but
well,
See, everybody has an off week.
natural 20 will hit.
we're 12, right? Okay. 6, 12, 24 points of damage.
Awesome. So this being, when you hit them, it looks like it really is hurting. They're not in dire straits, but you definitely took a chunk off as your axe kind of carves through some of their less than solid armor, nicking at the mask, which appears undamaged as that carve goes through, but definitely taking a chunk of their flesh and armor off of their chest. And that was an action. I don't know what else you have going on.
I will look at Xavier and I will say, do you feel inspired? And I will give him bardic inspiration.
That is hilarious. So you have bardic inspiration. What is your D?
Oh, it's level 1.
What is like a 4, a D4?
D6, I think.
D6, yeah.
Ah,
Right. So Xavier, you currently have a D6 of bardic inspiration, and it is your turn.
Okay. Are these things inside wearing masks at all?
The one that I have described that Darthos was in front of, and now Bix has smashed with an axe, is wearing a mask. It is draconic in look.
What about the other one?
The other one is not wearing a mask. They have a bit of a cowl, but it's been pulled back.
I am going to take my dagger and throw it, aiming for their eye.
Okay, so you're throwing it at the one without the mask.
The one without the mask, aiming for the eye.
Awesome. Pew, pew. Roll the attack.
All right. And I'm going to use that bardic inspiration. It's 12 plus 9 is 21.
That hits.
Okay. That is 1d4 plus 5.
Wait, what did you say?
Total of 9.
9. What did you say the attack was? Sorry.
21.
21.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay.
And what was the damage again?
That it would be a 9.
Okay. Anything
And then
else?
I'm going to use cunning action as a bonus action and hide, like find a shadow or something.
Right. Keeping in mind that the 3 figures that you've figured out are here, you're able to quickly find a space, and with your remaining movement, I want you to go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Okay.
So you try to slip it into. There are tapestries and such, and furniture, and it's
That is an 18.
great. Yeah, you feel confident that you've slipped away into the shadows, and none of the beings caught sight of you. Even the one that you flicked the dagger into a hit that did definitely plunge in. You're not sure if you actually got the eye or just nicked around it, but you can tell that no one was able to track you after that flick of the knife. With that, the individual with the gaping wound from the axe marking looks down at themselves and screams, and you can hear there's a feminine tinge to her voice. And as she screams, you see a glow at her hands as she throws a spell at Darthos. Darthos does a 15 hit. No.
Yes, just.
So you are hit for 22 points of radiant damage. And you all see as she does that the axe wound starts to knit together a little bit. The casting of the spell brought something back to her, and you can see that she is recovering in the same moment in which she's inflicting damage. Okay. Just after she's done, the individual you flick the knife out pulls the knife away, and you can see that it just hit right underneath the eye, causing pain and blood and temporarily blinding them from it, but their eye is still whole. And they flick the knife down before approaching Fawn, who was their original target. And you see that they have a kind of a modified looking lance-like structure that they pull forward, and they try to stab at Fawn, and Fawn dodges the first one and dodges the second one, and nimbly skates past both hits as this individual tries to hit. And then they shout. You hear this individual shout out, "Take them all!" And as they say "take them all," you can see the first individual immediately does a regular attack to Bix. So Bix does I think this hits 22 hit. Yeah, so with a 22, you take 4 points of damage from their mace as they kind of swing it around, prompted by this other creature.
Sorry, how many?
And as they do that, you also all witness the creature that was in the window break through as it reaches through with its 2 claws and pulls itself in, and it immediately bites at Fawn. And there's a moment of confusion as Fawn is her shoulder is bit into for a moment before she's able to wrangle herself free, and using her nimbleness to kind of avoid the greatest extent of the damage, she halved it. She's able to escape this spot in this moment where you witness a nightmarish looking dragon. It is young, nowhere near the size of the one that you witnessed up on the surface, destroying much of the Marybeard Delves farmlands and such, and also destroying the airship that you had arrived here on. But you do see that it is kind of in that same vein. Its skin is black but gray as well, which isn't what the black dragon was. Because where the black dragon had rough scales, this has a smooth, more salamander-esque hide, and its eyes are pale, grossly pale. And you can see that there are spores that are kind of growing in different parts of its anatomy, fungi. And its wings are not attached as the black dragons were to its back, but attached at the front legs a bit. And it's clear that these wings may not be as useful in flight, but definitely useful in being in an enclosed space such as this hall. And now it's going to take its turn, and it is going to take a deep breath and blow a cloud of spores. Yes, Bix.
What was the damage that it did to me again? The mace?
4.
4. Okay, thank you.
That was the other being in the room, the other humanoid. So this cloud of spores catches all of you in it. I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw, including Fawn.
Can I do uncanny dodge?
You can do uncanny dodge for the damage, but that's not for whether or not this is a wisdom saving throw. This isn't a.
Well,
I'll let you use it for the having the damage section, but let's first get through the wisdom saving throw part.
16.
Seriously?
It's all the natural 20s today.
Nice.
I've never used this dice before.
Okay, so Darthos, what did you get?
17. I had to remember which dice.
It's 21.
All three of you feel this wave of just mental gibbering come through your minds, and you're only going to take half the damage. So you're only going to take 11 damage because you all made the saving throw. And you can feel that if you had been any less stalwart in yourself and knowing who you were and who you are in this moment, you would have been frightened and had to run from this creature.
At least Asher's crew doesn't get dragon feared.
So Xavier, if you're going to take uncanny dodge in addition, that means you'll take half the 11, so you'll take 6 damage. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Does a natural 20 get me anything?
No. I mean, you saved. You're awesome. You're amazing. People wonder why Bix was even in the cloud of spores in the first place. Sometimes. You see one of the mushrooms on its back just burst into spores as it breathes on you all, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, and with that, we're back up at the top of the order, and having regained her thing, you see Fawn quickly close with the cowled being and go into heavy combat with them back and forth. So you can see that she's engaged with the cowled but not masked being. That takes us to Darthos. Darthos.
Okay, just a clarifying question in terms of layout. The dragon is still in the window frame?
It's pushed through from the window frame closer. It's now in your view.
Okay.
The dragon and the individual with the pulled back cowl that Xavier had gotten with the dagger is also close to that being, whereas the other individual is a little bit further away, the one that you had initially rolled away from. You can easily adjust yourself to catch sight of any of them.
Okay.
But there's some distance between those two cohorts.
Okay. I am... Okay, I think... Okay. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to scooch, just like, scooch my little feetsies over and get it so that I can see essentially what would make like a horseshoe around the dragon, like from like a wall area to a wall area.
Yeah.
And
easily done.
I'm gonna take out just a teeny little fan and a feather, and I'm just gonna say whoosh, and I'm gonna cast wind wall in a horseshoe essentially blocking the dragon in, but like separated from the rest of us.
All right, can you describe what your wind wall looks like as you do this with the little feather and the?
I'm trying to remember, what is the room that we are in? Is it like a library or like just like a room?
It's just one of the rooms. You can decide what room it is.
Okay.
What room do you want it to be?
I'm just trying to imagine whatever was on the walls is now getting swept up into like almost like a tornado like barricade, but it's not like that's not what's actually causing damage or anything. It's the wind. Like it filters in from the window and just kind of whooshes up, and all of a sudden there's just this wall of debris blocking this dragon in. And the dragon needs to make
Strength saving throw.
Yeah. I get everybody does. I think.
Not Bix. Bix is too far away for this to affect him.
Okay.
But it will affect Fawn. So everybody do a strength saving throw.
Oh boy. All right.
Fawn's also doing one.
Strength.
The dragon got a 18.
I don't even know what it is.
16.
15, I think, is your
Oh, yeah.
DC.
Dang.
16.
So
Okay.
is it?
So
So it only takes half,
okay.
but still.
So
Uncanny
Xavier,
dodge.
Darthos, you both saved. Fawn also saves.
Oh, come on.
And
It takes. We round up or round down? I can't remember.
round up.
So it would take 5 damage.
Yeah, so the dragon takes 5 damage. The young
Oh, no,
dragon.
6. Yeah, 5. 5.
6?
Sorry. 5. 5's right. 5. Sorry.
The officer is also going to take that damage. And Fawn is taking that damage. And Xavier, I think you just took 5 damage. All right. Great. So that takes us to Bix. You've just seen, unless Darthos, you had anything else you're planning on doing?
Nope, that's it. That's all I can do.
Bix,
You seem afraid to ask.
you see this wind wall kind of like encase where the dragon is, and while other individuals near that get kind of hit and buffeted by it and apparently take some amount of damage, you can see that the young dragon is now kind of sealed off behind wind. You still have this individual right in front of you who seems to have recovered a little bit, their skin kind of almost knitting together a bit as they shot a radiant bolt at Darthos before. And you can also see this other individual that has engaged with Fawn at this point. Xavier is nowhere in sight, really.
Well, I see the axe wound start to heal. I'm going to tell you, that makes me really angry. One might say it even sends me into a rage.
Would you like to rage? Is
I
that
would
what
like
you're
to
saying?
rage.
Oh, okay. You might rage then.
All right, so I will use my bonus action to rage. The wind wall, is it stuck behind the wind wall? Cannot walk through that?
You can see that the dragon appears to be stuck behind it. I don't know that in your association with Darthos you would have seen them do this before. So the dragon appears to be stuck behind it. The individual you are facing up against is not.
Right.
They're right there available.
Okay, I will give them another whack with my great axe.
Okay, so you have
Does
plus
a-
3 melee damage with strength weapons. You,
Does a 19 hit?
yes, definitely.
Piss. So 7, 8, 9, 10 with the rage damage. I rolled a 1 for damage.
Okay, so along with that, I need you to roll a D20. I think it's a D20 or is it a D100? I need you to roll a D100 because you went into a rage.
Can't hear you.
Sorry, dog will not stop barking. Wild magic table, right?
Yeah.
That is a 4. Actually, I feel like I have that table somewhere. Where is that?
I have a version of it that I'm using.
Okay.
So as you do that, your eyesight changes as you go into your rage, and you're suddenly able to make out little small birds around Fawn, the same types of birds that you've talked to in the past. And you realize as you see those small birds around Fawn that you're now able to see any invisible creature if you have line of sight on it. That's a fun one to have happen. So that anything else you're gonna do? You raged, you attacked.
I think I'm out, so I'm good.
Do you have? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh, there's a.
Checking to see if
I
there's
just
any
found
other
the.
things you can do in this.
I do have a D8 wild magic table that's tied to that spell. I don't know if you want me to use that or yours. I just found it.
Go ahead and use that one then. We'll use that one in the future.
Okay. It's do you want to keep your thing or just use this?
Let's just keep it this time, unless you want to re-roll a D8 for this.
Okay.
Okay. So for the next minute, you have invisibility as a see invisibility. That takes us to Xavier. Oh, how much damage did you do again on the creature? Sorry, I forgot.
10.
It's 10. Okay, cool. We're whittling them down. Xavier, what are you up to? You have a dragon behind a wind wall. To one side, you've slipped behind things, but you kind of got buffeted by the wind as that was going on, and took a little bit of a hit from it, but you are concealed. No one can see you. You can see that both Fawn and Bix are engaged with the other two foes that are more easily accessible. What are you up to?
Is the enemy Fawn is engaging within 5 feet of the other person, the other enemy?
Yes, at this point, I would say yes. The wind buffeted them that way.
All right. Then I
Buffeted.
want to do a sneak attack, which is once per turn. I can deal an extra 5d6 to one creature.
They don't have to be in 5 feet of each other. One of your companions has to be within 5 feet of them, but you're also hidden. You have
this
advantage.
says you don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it.
Because you're hidden, you already have advantage.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do that sneak attack, so I'm going to take that other dagger I have.
Okay, remember, roll with advantage because you are going from hiding to do the attack, so you do have an advantage on the attack when you're in hiding.
9, 20, 25 hit.
Yes, most definitely. And now you get to roll your attack and sneak attack and all the other junk that rogues roll in this ridiculousness.
So the first one is just from the dagger smack, and that's the 1d4 plus 5. So that's 6 damage there. And then it's let me find my d6s here. And then
Don't you have like 10 of those or something?
5d6 worth of damage. So that's 10, 13, 14, 16 more.
Between your hits and Fawn's hits, this person is going down. How do you want this to look as it's going down?
So I slip out, throw the dagger, hoping that I can snidge it past Fawn, and you see it just comes sliding in, and all of a sudden, just right in the neck. Hits the carotid artery, and you can just see it kind of go and just start going down. And then I use a bonus action to slip back into some shadows.
Okay. As you slip back into some shadows, you can see that the individual who you've hit, their eyes glaze over and become draconic for a moment before fading back to the humanoid look that they had before. That takes us to the roll a stealth check really quick.
Will do. Give me a second. Stealth. 17.
Awesome. You feel again like you've slipped away into shadow and nobody's aware of where you're at. The seeing her compatriot go down, the individual with the mask screams in rage at you, Bix, and they begin to move their arms in different directions. And as they pull them apart, you see flames coming straight at you at point blank range. I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw. Bix.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at sorry, I have a ability that uses a D3. I do not own a D3. I don't even know. Didn't know that was a thing.
What ability is that? That's cool.
Bolstering magic.
Huh.
Oh, roll a d6 and just use the 1, 2, 3, and then 1 is a
Gotcha.
4, and the 2 is
What am I rolling? Saving throw.
You're rolling a dexterity saving throw.
I have advantage. Yeah, that's good because my other roll was shit. Wait, this roll's also shit, so never mind. It's a 6.
Yeah, you try to. I mean, it's point blank range. You definitely try to like dodge to the side, and as you do, you just roll into more of it. As you didn't quite realize that this now cylinder of flame reaches up all around, floor to ceiling. You have no idea how high it could go in another location. But it covers up most of the area that you would all previously just been sitting in. And if anybody else had been closer at that point, they would have been caught within this blaze. And you take fire damage, and you're going to take 6 fire damage and 6 radiant damage.
Wait.
What's up?
I was trying to use Flash of Genius, but I was muted.
Okay. You got to describe for us, because not everybody's played this before, what Flash of Genius is going to do.
Yeah. I'm assuming I can at least see him, right?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I guess I see it and try to give him like a little bit of a. I just yell fire, and it gives. I don't know if it'll help or not, but it gives you a +3 to your roll, to your saving throw roll.
My roll was literally a 6, so it doesn't matter. I'm sure I missed it anyway.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you still missed it, but
yeah,
you do feel this moment of just this infusion coming through, like, oh, yeah, that could have kicked me over the edge on that one. I guess not. Oh, well. And as you experience those flames, the clearly at this point now, woman in front of you just cackles. And I'm sorry, Darthos, what was your DC on the wind wall? I need to know what
15.
Okay, so this, I mean, they've got to try, right? They're a dragon. They're not even that smart of a dragon. They're smart, but they're not smart. So it's fully covering floor to ceiling. But it's going to try to get through. Yeah, it's going to try to get through. So it's going to try to get against this. Oh, that was a terrible roll. Does a 13 is still low, right? Yeah, you see as the wind wall, you can see like the shape of the snout and parts of the body and the tail all in like shadow form as it's like throwing itself up against the wind wall and then knocking back as it takes damage from that. Can you go ahead and roll 3d8? Larissa, you're muted, by the way.
Nine again.
9.
9.
Yeah, you can hear the kind of like the roars of this creature as it bashes itself up against the wind wall, and that.
Just imagine a random book like right under the chin. You just hear Darthos over in the corner.
Yeah, and seeing that the draconic creature is held up by that wind wall, Fawn immediately moves to the other side of being the Europe against Vix, and she takes a couple of slashes at it, and that hits, and she's going to town on it. You can see that she's kind of like she's getting the same effect that Xavier just got as she comes up and she just stabs in, and the shock on this creature's well, you don't see their face, but you can see a bit of shock through the eye holes of the mask, I suppose, as that just digs in and they have this moment of grimacing. And you can see that they're pretty poorly at this point. That takes us up to Darthos.
I am going to aim for the closest of the two that are left, right?
There's only one. There's the dragon hidden behind your wind wall,
Oh, okay.
and then there's the individual with the dragon mask on.
And I can see them, right?
Yeah, you can see
Okay.
both. Well, you can see through the wind. You can see.
Yeah.
What you can see.
I'm let's see. Crap, I have to think of things for spells. I'm gonna look at it and
Make up a haiku.
huh?
Yeah, make up a haiku
No,
every
no,
single time.
No.
Give yourself a real challenge.
I don't hate myself that much. I am going to look at the individual in the dragon mask, and I'm going to put my 3 middle fingers at it, and just say, "You burns," and I'm going to use Scorching Ray.
You're doing this on the dragon masked individual?
Yes.
Awesome.
So I'm going to aim all 3 rays at them. So I roll 3 times, yeah?
Roll the
Okay.
3 attacks. Yep. You can roll those all at once if you'd like to.
19? No,
Hits.
26. That is a 26. Sorry.
Both of those hit.
That is another 26. I'm
Yeah.
rolling with the digital dice from now on. That is a 9.
That does not hit.
Okay, so the first one, the damage is 8. What is it? Fire damage. And the second one is 6 fire damage.
Okay. So you see, again, just like that additional widening of the eyes, then they're looking really rough and ragged between the wound carved through their chest, the fires, the stabs from Fawn. This person's not having a great day. It's just rough. And that takes us, unless you have anything else you're doing, Darthos?
Nope.
Okay, that takes us to Bix. Bix, right in front of you, you just see this individual. You're in a rage. What is that noise I'm hearing?
Oh,
That's what I'm wondering.
I'm going to mute myself for a second.
yeah. Oh, it might be Andy.
Oh,
Andy.
Andy
Oh,
also muted.
Might be.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's
There's
Andy.
something going on at Andy's place. It's okay. It's just weird. Just curious what it was. Okay, so maybe it'll stop soon. I don't know what it was. But Bix, what are you doing?
So that it's dead or it's almost dead?
It's getting there.
It's mostly dead. All right. I'm gonna pop it again then, I guess. I'm gonna be like, yeah! I'm just gonna chop it again with my axe.
Okay. Go ahead and
Let's try the
roll the
purple
attack.
die. Does a 26 hit?
Yes, most definitely.
Thank you. $16 damage.
Awesome. What does this look like as you take this individual out?
I'm just like, oh, I see him like burning or whatever from whatever Darthos did. And it's just like fuel, like my rage mixes with joy, and I'm just like, yeah, and I just chop his head off.
So yeah, there's just this moment of this, all this happening to them, their eyes big and wide, and then almost without being able to see it or being able to track it, you just see a slice in air, and then suddenly there's a head lying several feet away with the dragon mask, and the eyes blink for a moment. And Bix, you see for a moment draconic eyes glowing through before they fade away into normal humanoid eyes once again. Anything else you're doing on your turn?
Reaction to spit on its stupid severed head.
Okay, use your. Okay, that takes us to Xavier, I think.
All right. Seeing both of the humanoids go down, and not knowing if I can attack through that wind wall, I am going to dart out, grab Fawn, and use my winged boots to get us high up in this place to get her safer.
You got about 15 feet of height, which is the same as the wind wall is in height. So yeah, you could get up to the top of the ceiling if you wanted to carry Fawn.
Yep. What are we? And I'm just going to say, what are we going to do with that thing?
I think Fawn, to you in a bit of an undertone, says, "Nothing good can come of it. We've got to take care of it. No heroes for us. It's all on us."
All right.
What I'll say this is that Fawn is going to, on her turn, which comes at the changeover of the turns, she's going to use her help action to assist you in what you do. So I will give you in your next turn license to figure out what that looks like. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, this young deep dragon is going to try to burst through the wall again. So let's see if this works. Oh, that's much better. A 23. Sorry, 23. Got to learn how to do math. 23 breaks through, I believe.
When I see a breakthrough, can I, as a reaction, drop the spell? Or does
You
that
can
have
drop
to be
the spell
bonus action?
anytime. That's not even an action or anything. That's just you stopping
Okay.
concentration. So that's
Okay.
just...
When I see it do that, I'm just like...
You just drop the spell. Yeah, so it breaks free, and that took its action, and it's going to... It's young. It doesn't do anything else because it's dumb. Just looking around. And if anybody speaks Draconic, you hear lunch meat, die. But otherwise...
I do.
You do. So you hear, Darthos hears, lunch meat, die. And fun enough, because I subjugated Fawn's actions to the help actions for Xavier. Darthos, you're up next.
I'm gonna say, am I still kind of situated, or I'm gonna just kind of like scooch again on the ground, so that I'm situated, and like if I were to put my cannon right in front of me, it would be only pointing at the dragon.
Oh, easily enough done. Yes.
Okay.
Because where everybody else moved, you definitely have clear line of sight on this dragon.
Okay. So then, therefore, I am going to use my action to create my Eldritch Cannon. Because I think I can it doesn't...
Describe how that happens for you. It's a very personal flavor thing. So you get to describe what everybody else sees in this moment as you bring to bear your dark, secret, or bright, happy, or whatever it is. But you decide what this Eldritch Cannon does for you. Do you use like woodworkers tools and stuff, or smith tools? Like, what is it that, like, how do you generate this thing? The whole description.
So, okay. So I have, like, basically it kind of looks like I walk around with a barrel on my back, but it's actually like the tube for this cannon. So I like off my back, and then I pull out like a little tripod base, and I stick that in front. And I just kind of and I use my alchemist tools I have little powder and stuff that I keep on hand, and I slide it in a little chute along the side, and then I like lock it up, and then I am going to use where is it? My bonus action. I think is it this one? Yes. I am going to use Force Ballista, Eldritch Cannon Force Ballista.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 3d8.
So first, the dragon has to make a save.
Yeah, but I'm not even sure where is it. Just okay. Here it is. It's a 15 dex save.
Yeah, the dragon did not make it.
Okay, so now it is 3d8 force damage, and it's gonna get pushed 5 feet back. But as I like right before it goes off, I'm gonna go. We agree. You die now. and that's probably not going to be a lot, but 17 force damage.
Yeah, you
Nice.
just
and it gets pushed back 5 feet.
I think to Bix and Xavier and Fawn, what is a huge object to little Darthos is in fact a small cannon. The fun thing about this, just for those of you who don't know about the Artificer and the Eldritch Cannon, is you can be tiny, like it can be handheld, but Arthas has chosen to make it like
it's a big boom,
like a Final Fantasy VII weapon.
That's awesome.
So you just see this little cannon plop down, and then it blasts the dragon, and you see it take and it's bashed up against the wall where it once burst through a window and is plastered there for a moment as it gets knocked back 5 feet as well. So, and you listen to the mad cackling of Darthos. Bix, you're up, and Xavier, you're on deck.
All right, I'm gonna run over. How far away from the gap in the window, like the hole in the window, is the dragon? Is it within 10 feet?
It just got blasted back to that same window.
Okay, so I'm gonna run up right in front of it. I guess like a few feet away, and then I'm gonna yell, "No, no, 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 thunder!" I'm gonna thunder wave it out of the window.
You're currently under rage, so you're dropping the rage to cast Thunderwave.
If I need to, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you thunder and cast Thunderwave. It's a con saving throw for the dragon. The dragon.
I freaking love one shots.
So it did not make the save. Roll the damage for that. I believe it's 2d8 unless you
8.
Awesome. So it gets hit by that, and Thunderwave does some other fun stuff, right?
Throws it backwards 10 feet. So technically it should have thrown it out of the window.
Yeah. So you watch this dragon, and there is a thunderous boom that's bringing attention to what's going on right now. You see this dragon get knocked out and back, and I'm going to have it do a dexterity saving throw to see if it can catch itself, and it's going to fail that.
In addition, unsecured objects within the area of effect are automatically pushed 10 feet away. So if there's anything that around him, like maybe all the stuff that fell from the wind wall,
all the detritus that had already knocked over, all the glass that already broke, everything is just blasted off in all the directions, clearing that area. It's actually the cleanest that section has been since the maids came through to clean it, because it has now been blasted clear. Unfortunately, structurally, it's not as integrated as it used to be. But yeah, you blast out and you see it caught out in the wind just as it unfurls its wings and goes into a glide. And
I was hoping it would fall. Oh well.
Look at wings. It almost fell. I had to roll the dexterity saves, and then it had to use its other stuff to get away with that. But that takes us to Xavier. You see this dragon has gotten knocked out, and it is in air. You don't know if it's going to fly away or fly back at this point. It's a little bit indeterminate, but you are in flight with Fawn there to help you and support you. What are the two of you going to do?
Is this thing within 30 feet?
At this point, I'll say yes. Why not?
Okay. You can let me know if this is possible. I want to take my rapier, look at Fawn, and say, "You only live once. Let's get it. Fly towards it with the rapier in front to just stab into its skull.
All right. So I would like you to roll a. I feel like this is a kind of like in-flight battle moment that's kind of new. Plus, you're kind of holding a friend in place, and they're going to do something. So I want you to roll an athletics check,
Athletics, okay.
and that will determine what sort of.
That is a 17.
Awesome. So yeah, you fly in and go ahead and roll your attack without disadvantage, which is what I was going to throw at you for the
Okay.
flying, carrying,
I gotta.
attacking thing.
All right, rapier. That's a 19.
Awesome. That
And that's-
hits.
Okay, 1d8 plus 5. Where are my d8s? So that is 10.
10 damage. Great. So as you fly in and do this, you feel Fawn detach from you in that moment. And as part of her assist, she is also going to be doing an attack, and she brings her blades down. But you see that as her blades go down, she's caught by something. Something holds her aloft for a moment, separate from the dragon, and her blades travel without her before stabbing into the creature. And the dragon is definitely not interested in what's going on right now. So seeing as it's being mauled and its two handler compatriots, whatever they were, are off in their own little thing, dead, it's going to try to escape. So it is going to use all of its action movement. And what else has it got going on for it? Yeah, it's going to use its action and movement, and it's going to dive directly at the ground. Full speed. It looks like it's like 80 or 90 feet below you all to get down there, and it's diving the full distance. You see it hit the ground, and as it hits the ground, it begins to burrow. And quickly, like frighteningly quickly, begins to create a tunnel and goes down. It makes it, from what you can probably all see, go ahead, and anybody who would like to say that they run up to the edge or whatnot, or Xavier standing right above, go ahead and roll perception checks if you would have gone to peek, if you're looky-loos.
Yeah, I guess after I shoved it out the window, I assume I'm looking down.
17.
16.
Thank you. High bonus.
Yeah, you see that it's made it maybe 15 feet underground already.
I'm
It has a
below
burrowing
the
speed.
windowsill. I'm like,
Somebody lifts me up. Please can't see.
What'd you roll, Larissa?
a 4.
I'm just gonna like reach down if I can have this free action and just grab by like the scruff of her shirt or his shirt and just like lift him up.
Awesome. Totally. I think as like this is all playing out, and we're gonna go back to combat order with Fawn starting us off, and then we'll go through the three of you, and then back to the dragon again. The dragon did use all of its stuff to run away. You see Fawn with a bloody dagger in hand salute you with it before jumping and diving down to the tunnel below. That takes us up to Darthos. Darthos, you've been kind of like
There's
free
no
action
heroes
up.
to help us, Fawn says as she dives 90 feet out of a window.
Wait, whose turn is it?
Darthos. It's your
Okay.
turn.
God dang it, and I can't do 2 of them in combat. Okay.
Two of what?
2 spells.
No, but you can upcast spells, and they have different properties when they're upcast.
I don't think that's what. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Okay. I'm gonna look
This
at.
is like a total of like you got the 80 feet of fall distance and about 15 feet of digging itself underground.
Yeah. Oh wait, I can choose up to 5. Okay, yes. Never mind. I'm gonna say it's
He's okay. We flies too.
and I'm gonna take out another feather and I'm just gonna kind of crush it quick and I'm gonna say
Wings now.
and I cast feather fall on all three of us. So now like if we fall, our falling creature's rate of descent slows to 60 feet per round until the spell ends. If a creature lands before the spell ends, it takes no falling damage and can land on its feet, and the spell ends for that creature.
Yeah.
So I can say that, and I'm gonna say,
Wings now. And jump.
So you all watch as Darthos just jumps out. And Xavier, you've got these shoes that are keeping you aloft, but you also feel a little bit of a lightness suddenly. This is like, oh, my shoes aren't having to work half as hard right now. And Bix, you also feel suddenly light. And it's not an emotional lightness. You just feel suddenly light. As you watch this little kobold leap from the parapet that has been created by the destruction of the window and begin slow plummeting, but slowly making its way down. Within a round, you can get down 60 feet. So are you doing anything when you get down to there, or are you just getting that 60 feet? You've got probably 20 feet left before the ground, and then 15 feet in addition before you're...
well, it lasts up to a minute, so we should be
Yeah.
fine, right?
Oh, yeah, you're totally fine. I just wanted to know if you were going to try to do
you
anything
just
else
hear
while you're
Darthos
falling.
going, like all the way down, just but not like an afraid, but like someone who's
Like to normal beings, it sounds like a terrifying, cackling, scary laugh, but to Darthos, it's the cackle of happy glee.
yeah.
Okay, so that takes us to Bix.
I would like to step out and float down my 60 feet or somewhere in the middle of that. I'm going to chuck a javelin as I'm floating down at the
All
dragon.
right, go ahead and roll that attack.
22.
Okay, 22 hits. Roll the damage.
Five, 10.
Okay, cool. You can see that the dragon definitely has a lot of wounds at this point. Its body not being as rugged and robust as the Black Dragon's was. Xavier, unless Bix, you had anything else you're going to do?
Sorry. No.
Okay. Xavier, what are you going to do? You still have your boots, which allow you to actually fly, but you can also just take advantage of gravity. And
Well, I'm going to do my 30 feet that I can go down with my boots,
So
like
kind of-
right now, right?
and then release and get a full like 90 feet down or something.
Well,
Take advantage of the slow fall to
take
get
advantage
down
of the
to-
slow fall, yeah. So since I won't take damage, I'm going to just then...
Yeah, so you get all the way down to the ground, or you could go a little bit lower and be in the beginning part of that tunnel.
I'm going to get into the beginning part of that tunnel.
Awesome. But as you get down there to the beginning part of the tunnel, you see Fawn has already made it down there. She did not cast slow fall on herself. She had a different mechanism at play, and you can see her just slightly ahead of you, both daggers extended out in kind of like a superhero pointy objects held first. It's like when the bees in one of those bee movies gets all angry and they go down stinger first, except it's all right. Do you do anything else besides racing down, or is that your turn?
I don't think I can do any other attacks as a bonus action. So
Okay. As you get down there,
dash.
you can see.
What would dash allow me to do?
I'd say you could use your boots again to get another 30 feet, so you can get up to the dragon if you want to.
I'm gonna get right up on the dragon then.
Okay, get right up on the
Use the
dragon.
dash.
So that's your movement and your dash. You have an action if you want to.
Oh, well, in that case, I will attack with my rapier.
Okay, roll the attack.
7 plus 9 is 16.
That is exactly what it takes to hit it.
Oh, whew. Okay.
So you
Whew.
feel your blade like sketch in, and you're like, "Oh, that's like if I was off on a get, I would have missed." Roll
All
the
right.
damage.
D8 plus 5. So that is 7.
Okay, it's 7 points of damage. Awesome. And up close, as you like kind of dig in a little bit and close up to the flesh of this creature, especially with all the blood and such, you can smell a funky, musky odor as the spores around it are just letting off little, the little mushrooms and stuff and fungi on it are just letting off little spore clouds and stuff like that. That takes us back around to the beginning of the order of stuff, so that because what it's going to do is it's going to keep tunneling down, and like it's kind of like you get your hit in, and it continues to burrow. And there's a moment where you see it burrowing, and then you hear a bloop as it pops into an already existing tunnel.
Okay.
And so you know that it has reached some sort of other point in its trajectory and travels. And Fawn continues chasing after it, allowing gravity until she comes into what looks like to you, because you're down there, Xavier, it looks like she goes into a slow slide, but it's not possible for her to go into a slow slide.
Okay.
Something is still continuing to assist her in this process. And she kind of pauses at the mouth to a darker space that you can kind of barely make out with your vision, off in the distance, like at the furthest extent of your vision. As she pauses there and waits and looks around before calling back, "It went deeper." Darthos, you've been slow falling along. Continue the slow fall. You could land on the ground or keep going into the hole.
I'll keep going to the hole just because
You keep going into the hole. Eventually, it gets to a place where it's just curved enough that you're on your own 2 feet. You kind of like slowly come to a place where you can see Xavier, and barely in the distance make out a glint of metal that might be Fawn.
Well, I think I have.
You have dark vision, but it's a
Yeah.
longer distance than that.
Okay.
60 feet.
And did I hear her say that?
Yeah, I would say that you heard her as she was shouting that out.
It's a free action. I just yell out,
Do we go too?
You get an affirmative response of kill it if you can.
So she's at where it popped through?
From what you can tell and know.
And how far away is she from me?
She's about 65 feet away from you. That's why you can just see that glint of her armor and stuff.
All right. I don't know how much of my movement has technically been used because I was falling.
We just call it falling. Just
Okay.
You use your own movement at this point.
Okay, so I am going to use my action and my bonus action or my action and my movement to close the distance to get to her. I will almost make it.
Okay. And that takes us to Bix. You are same situation, ground or tunnel?
Tunnel.
Okay, you fall through into the tunnel. Same situation. You're located there. Are you going to run up? Or are you going to stay there? What are you?
I will run as far as I can run. I mean, I can't attack or anything, right? I can't see it, so I will just use my action to dash if I can.
You could blind attack, which would just be an attack with disadvantage. Blindly throwing a weapon up into a dark tunnel without knowledge of if the creature is there or not.
Let's do it.
All right.
Blindly throw another javelin.
Blind throw. So roll with disadvantage. Roll your attack.
Well, I rolled a 4 and a 2, so this is probably not going to happen.
You still have a modifier, though.
So it's that I'm assuming a 12 does not hit on my blind attack.
So is the total of that 12?
Yeah. Or no,
8,
11. Sorry.
11. So you toss that next javelin and you see it shining in the distance, and you actually see a shadow pass between you and it after it's already been embedded in the stone wall, allowing you that moment to realize that that dragon hasn't quite made it that far away. Except now Xavier's turn.
Okay. So I'm about, 65 feet away as well from
Yeah.
where Fawn is?
Just so you know, missing with that javelin made me really angry again.
Bonus action rage.
Yep.
Really quickly, while you bonus action rage, roll on your magic wild table. Wild magic table. Because your wild magic's more fun.
Okay. Magic infuses one weapon of your choice that you're holding. Until your rage ends, the weapon's damage type changes to force, and it gains the light and thrown properties with a normal range of 20 feet and long range of 60 feet. If the weapon leaves your hand, the weapon reappears in your hand at the end of the current turn. So I can throw my axe, basically.
Nice.
Which is kind of ridiculously cool.
Very Thor.
All right.
So,
cool. So you hear again more sounds of burrowing as the creature tries to get away, and I think that Fawn, seeing the situation and what's going on,
got to do my actions and whatnot.
yeah. Oh yeah. And, sorry, Xavier.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm going to use my movement and then bonus action to dash to get within 60 feet or get within 5 feet of Fawn.
Uh-huh.
And if I can see anything up ahead, I will throw one of my 2 last remaining daggers.
Roll a perception check with disadvantage because you're human without dark vision.
Okay, that is a natural 1 anyway. So
You're distracted by the glint of a javelin that's just stuck into a wall 30 feet ahead of you, and unable to make out anything else. Your eyes just unable to adjust to the dark this quickly after the brightly lit interior space that you're in.
One of those like, yeah, there I am.
Stupid dark blind human.
Yeah.
That's usually me that's wandering blindly through the tunnel holding Trixie's tail, so this is amusing to me.
Well, I was like, I gotta try. What's that?
I don't think I actually said Bix is a half elf, so he has dark vision.
Bix does have dark vision. So you kind of throw off into the distance, and then the other things that I said happen. And Fawn reaches up her hands, both hands up into the air, and she says, "This happened before they came back a lot. I hope the trick still works." And she throws both hands forward, and she casts something, and it looks like about 20 feet ahead of you, just like glimmering in the dark up ahead of you, is a huge pile of gold and gems. And now our friend dragon will have to do an intelligence check against the spell, and does not. So that will come up in another round. But yeah, you see Fawn has kind of like put up, and I think you 3 are aware through interaction and just general intelligence that this is an illusion of gold. But it's pretty hard to pierce. And if you want to try to see if you can pierce the illusion, I will need you to roll investigation checks.
Ooh, I'm going to investigation.
Investigation.
9. That is a 12.
Yeah, you cannot see through this illusion. You know that it's an illusion, but you still can't see through the illusion.
Awesome.
19.
19. Yes, you, Bix, through some sheer moment of genius, as lightning strikes where it's never struck.
I'm so
before.
angry that I just see right. I don't even notice the illusion.
The glimmer of rage and the brightness of your newly enlightened axe, as wild magic surges around you, you pierce the gloom and you realize that's not real.
Stupid illusion.
Darthos, what'd you roll? If you did, no,
I didn't roll.
okay. So yeah, Darthos, it is your turn.
I'm gonna scooch up that last 5 feet and see if I can see the the dragon.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
God dang it.
I know you already have disadvantage, which makes this rough.
Well, it would be an 11, and I would like to use my flash of genius to make it a
Okay.
14.
There are several protrusions, 4 of them that could all be the dragon. You
How
make
far
out in the
apart?
darkness.
Are they from each other?
They are quite far from each other. One is about 20 foot from another one. Another one is 50 feet away, and another one is off in the distance.
Boo. We must wait. All right. I'm gonna. I would
love
like
how
to.
your actual self-talk sounded like Darthos' self-talk.
I would like to hold my action
Okay.
until I can actually, for sure, see the dragon.
And what action are you holding?
Casting fireball.
Okay, so check off the
Yes.
spell because you will have,
Yes.
regardless if you get to launch it or not, you're holding that magical spell.
Mhm.
That takes us to Bix and Xavier. You're on deck. Bix
I
can't
would-
tell.
I would just like to say it to Jason quick. Who's having headphone
Having
difficulties.
headset fun.
Just so you know, I'm talking to you that just came back. I'm holding my action until I can see the dragon, and that action is to cast fireball. So,
Okay, you have to unmute
So-
yourself. Sorry.
just so you know.
Yay, fireball. Okay. Can I see the dragon?
Well, as the beginning, it is your turn.
Yes.
So you can roll another perception check with it. Just a flat check because you do have dark vision and you're not Darthos. You're not Xavier who's blind.
No, I didn't. 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. No, you're not unable to make out the dragon. You do see several lumps of maybe stalagmite, stalactite combinations that could be a dragon, but you're unable to tell for
I would-
sure.
I'm gonna roll a D4. Number those in your head 1 to 4, Robert.
Okay.
I'm gonna chuck my axe at number 2.
Okay, go ahead and roll the attack.
For those listening, Jason is currently juggling
Wrestling.
a puppy while trying to roll.
Does a 29 hit?
Yes, in fact, through all the luck possible, you hit, and you see that sparkling axe hit that point. At which point, Darthos, because the axe hit and it glows because Bix has a glowing axe right now that just returned to his hand, but in that moment where it was glowing as it was embedded in dragon,
I love it when
you
a plan
cast
comes together.
Fireball. So Bix rolled damage while Darthos
19 from me.
It's only 24, but it's a 15 deck save.
Get your toes out of it.
it does not make the save, and
Hey.
I don't know which one of you does this, so the two of you have to collaborate together to describe what happens to this poor dragon.
You go ahead. I think that your follow-up thing killed it. So
Okay. Honestly, I'm just gonna say, great ball of fire! Cast
Goodness
fireball. As I see see its scales glint off of the axe. I'm gonna say, and now we eats.
As you squeal, and now we eats, you hear amongst the roaring flames that you've cast, and I think so far we've only established that Darthos knows how to speak Draconic so far. You hear, I am not the last. More will come for you, peoples. The dragons are forever. What a world, what a life. With that, we're out of combat. catching your breath.
Well, I'm glad
This-
you guys killed it, because I was going to be pulling out my oil lantern. Hey, I'm the helpless human. Woo!
Oh. Decoy.
And honestly, with that, as like everything comes down, you look over at Fawn as you're like about to pull out your oil lantern, and she's about to pull out her hooded oil lantern at the same time. You both look at each other and just chuckle.
Huh?
Yeah. She pulls hers out and then unhoods it, and you both have light over there in that corner.
I'm gonna take a few deep breaths and unrage myself, and then I will walk over to cantrips. Yes, I'll walk over to Andy and touch his weapon and cast light on it, so you have like a glowing. And then I will walk over to Fawn and do the same with one of her weapons. Oh wait, can I do that twice?
I think you can only do one.
Okay, well I'll do it just to Andy's then.
Yeah, you do it to Andy's, and then Andy seeing what you did, or Fawn seeing what you did for Andy. She just you hear in your head, Bix, which you've heard this before. This isn't the first time you've heard. And you can kind of see her fingering a small piece of copper in her hand as she's doing it. You hear in your head, "Oh, I'm good. Anything that gets too close to me can't get too close to me." And you get a flash as she speaks into your head, Bix, of those little birds.
I'm going to start putting away my lantern and just be like, hey, thanks. So I'm examining my rapier.
You're welcome.
Swinging it like a lightsaber.
And then in my head to Fawn, I'll just be like, naturally. Like I have any idea what she means. And then I'm just going to like.
Yeah. So as the four of you kind of gather together in this cave, you can see that this is an extension of the complex. It might actually be where before those monsters had erupted from the ground in the marketplace. This might be part of that complex. But you're here, the four of you, and Fawn just says, let me put up a perimeter, but we got to get back to Underton. And then she kind of steps away and she starts pulling out this silvery thread that she starts laying around in a circle around you all.
Dartha says, waits, and dashes over to the dragon and like tears out a chunk and then like.
No one else? Use what?
No, thank you.
And I'm just gonna like scurry back and just start like munching on this chunk of.
Well, he does that. I'm gonna
flesh.
go and loot the dragon if there's any loot.
I mean, you can make out that the skin, as strange as it is, might be useful if you were able to harvest it properly. The eyes are huge and luminous, and they might be interesting to, I think, Bix, based on like your weird relationship with these surges of magic that you haven't really been in quite control of, in the strange way your songs also can bring things to be that aren't in the norm. You might see that they have maybe a use amongst those who are magical.
I'll just reach and go and just stick my hand in and just pull the eyeball out.
Roll a strength check just so I can decide how. Actually, roll a dexterity check. That's what I really need to roll, a dexterity check.
You sure it's not a strength check? Are you positive?
Roll a strength check to see if you're able to suck this eyeball out of the head.
16 for strength.
Okay.
Noticing what he's doing, I'm going to reach into my backpack and go, would this help? And toss him a crowbar.
Well, he okay. So you get to decide how you do that, how you react to that crowbar being tossed at you, Bix. But you have a firm grip on the eyeball and you're pulling it out. But it's starting to tear.
So I got this hand in the eyeball and I'm just be like, catch the crowbar and be like, I'm just trying to pull the eyeball out. It's a little late already.
I'm glad to see
eyeball
that
in
help.
hand. It's a little torn, the membrane of the eye, but otherwise you have an eyeball from an underdark dragon, from a deep dragon.
Let's see.
as he walks back, and I go,
Oh, you's right. That's special. This umami.
What about my mommy?
No, not you, mommy. Umami. You
Well,
try?
you're clearly
You-
okay. How's everybody else?
I think Fawn, after she lays down the rest of the silver thread, comes back, nods at you, Darthos, and quietly just pulls out a blade and slices off a thin slice of it. Just eats it off of her knife.
No, you're the only one that didn't try it, Xavier.
I think I'm okay.
All right.
But you all have fun, and then I'm going to try and slay the hand with just a little pick.
Roll your sleight of hand check.
All right.
And Darthos,
against
roll
my
your
perception check.
roll your disadvantage
I
perception.
gotta go to skills here quick. Sleight of hand.
It's a 5.
That is a 17.
I think the most comical bit in this, I don't know what Bix would have rolled for a perception check, but Fawn fully watches you move in every moment of this. And that's hard because Fawn is one of the only beings that you've encountered, Xavier, who can actually catch you when you're up to this type of thing.
I have a feeling about that, yeah.
And so like it's a little bit rough that she just sees you because her passive perception is 30.
Holy shit, Fawn.
But
Fawn might have leveled up while we were gone.
Fawn might have had to do a lot of things while you're all gone. 8 years is a while. But as you see, she's like literally tracking back and forth, and Darthos is just oblivious. He actually bites into the section you've just trimmed without even noticing. Oh my god. So we need to get back to Overton. This is stupid. We can't do anything out here at this point.
Should we follow up on the message you received that there could be a tunnel under the water?
I don't know where that's going to be. I have no sense under here. And she's like points at her eyes, and then she points to both you, Bix, and Darthos, and goes, "Do either of you have a sense of what's going on under here?"
It goes down that way.
No.
Don't look at me.
I'm gonna like try to decide if I can determine which way is the direction of Overton. Be like, Overton is that way. Is there a tunnel going that way?
I honestly, I can't see here. And if we're going to try to find things,
Well,
like, if we're going to march underground,
I sense something, but
yes, like,
I sensed it before, not here's. That's a secret. I can't tell. But I sense something. It's like a doors kind of and it takes people, but I don't know where, but I think there's ones near here.
well, with that and the rumors of there being people below, could they be the same place? Are your people the people that are here?
I don't think so. But I don't know. Most
and you can see Darthos is like struggling, like trying to figure out how to answer your question without betraying secrets.
Not that I knows.
Are there any insects or anything under here? Like roaches, any kind of anything crawling around, rats?
Roll a perception check.
I was gonna say there's those insect things that the trio fought. Unless we eliminated all of
Perception check?
Yeah.
24.
You looking around, it doesn't look like there's a lot of creatures, but there is some fauna and flora. Like there's some small molds growing, and there looks like there's some small insect-like creatures that are there.
I would like to cast Speak with Animals and ask the insect if it knows which tunnels go across the ocean.
That's a lot to ask of a bug.
Okay. Roll an animal handling check versus insectoid.
Natural 20.
That's awesome.
So with my huge animal handling bonus, that's a 21.
This is the pain. This is the pain. Okay. We're about to have a conversation with an insect. So what do you say to this insect, Bix?
I'll say, hello, little bug. How are you doing today?
He just hears screaming.
Ah, shit. Ah, shit. It talks. Ha! Gotta tell the others. And as it says, gotta tell the others, another creature of the same sort kind of crawls up over it a little bit and goes, you told us already. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Do any of you happen to know which tunnel goes across the ocean underneath?
The what's? Now there's like 5 of them all
water,
gathered together
like
and echoing each other.
The giant water that's above the dirt. Which one goes all that way underneath of it?
The hive. Now there's like 20 of them all echoing each other.
You guys are really annoying.
This way. Now it's like they're just growing in number, and now there's 100 of them. But you see a trail start peeling off and going back up the recently excavated tunnel that you all came down. Because you rolled a natural 20 on talking with bugs.
Well, I take it back. You're not annoying. You're being helpful. I will follow you.
We're helpful. And you hear the sound of the insect voice, helpful, echoing both ahead of you and behind you as this line starts to form.
The books say we should go this way.
Big guy, yeah. I was just about to ask who you're talking to.
Neither of you, by the way, Xavier or Darthos, and Fawn knows, but like neither of you hear a single thing, except for Bix making weird, strange, chittering noises.
That's why I'm asking what you doing, big guy.
The bugs say we should go this way to get to the tunnels that go under the ocean.
To the tunnels. Bix, it's overwhelming. There's too many voices now. There's thousands.
There's a lot of bugs. I'm gonna follow them for as long as I can tolerate this, the direction they're.
Yeah, as you start going, Fawn pulls you, Xavier, and Darthos back a bit and goes, all right. He's good at this. Just go with it for now.
I'm gonna turn around back to you guys what is somebody talking? I can't hear anything over these bugs.
You're all like, huh? Meanwhile, Bix is his own brand of hell as a billion bugs are now talking to him. As
All
an entire
right, you
colony
say
of
so, boss.
communal bugs.
I'll start following since Fawn said to. All right, boss, you got it.
I hope I didn't do wrong.
Can I do a
Coming?
history check to see if I know anything about any of these tunnels or anything?
Yeah, go ahead and roll it. Like you actually, you could take advantage of one of your contacts if you want to, and say that one of them was one that you learned things from as well. If you want to roll with advantage, we can use up one of those.
Sure. Let's do that. I will definitely take the 18 over the 7. So 18 plus history, that's a 25.
Yeah. Well, you were there for part of this. You weren't here, but you heard the aftermath about like what happened with the recent explosion of things and attacks. But you got a chance to, and did you use your advantage for this?
Yeah.
You got a chance to speak with one of the historians who actually does know something about the beginnings of Mary Delph's beard. Mary, yeah, that word.
Hey,
that I
you
can't-
named it.
Mary Beard's Delph. I technically didn't. I stole it directly from an actual location in Antarctica. So hey, but
Well, then it was doubly your fault because you picked it. You.
Totally.
Of all the
but
names to survive 5,000 years or whatever, that's the one. That's the one nobody ever warped into a new word.
Such a rough life. But you have grown to understand that their ancients, what they call their ancients, tunneled out this original settlement after their first settlement collapsed under a great ocean, so that they had relocated here to this new location and started digging to stay safe from what they determined, or what the history calls the scorching rays. Some sort of situation where the sun was too much for their beings. And they grew and they adapted and they slowly built out the entire civilization that is Marebeard itself. And many of the tunnels are their own creation. The recent incursion from various monsters over the last 8 years has expanded their reach, with the most extensive one being the most recent incursion. And that's where they developed their might and prowess at strategy and combat underground. The folks of this place and of this city, really, this underground city, have mapped it pretty extensively, and they've blocked off most of the sections that they believe were unsafe. But of course, this recent incursion has brought in all sorts of new things. There's been smaller incursions of other beasts since in the last couple of days. You haven't heard of any dragons coming up from below until now. You haven't heard of any beings with the dress and behavior and the mask of the one that you had seen above, whose body and head are still separated yet upstairs. But you are aware that these tunnels have a long storied history as far as being both humanoid made, but also being the discovery most recently of various monsters make.
Okay.
In terms of the specifics of the rumor, you're the one that brought the rumor to Fawn's attention about there being another people below.
Okay.
All right, so Bix, you're following the ants?
Yep.
I'm following Bix.
The ants are marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah.
As
I
you
still
start
get in
singing that, Bix, they all start echoing it back to you. How long does this spell last?
10 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
The next 10 minutes, you're just treated to a chorus from 1,000 voices.
It's a hell of a cannon.
Might have
Thousand
militarized the
voices
whole
ringing.
crew.
Who can hear a lousy whistle blow?
Eventually, you're brought to a different section underground, if you're all following it, and Darthos, that feeling is stronger here. It's close.
And I catch up to Fawn a little because I would have been going at the end just because I'm like munching as we go.
dragon meat.
And also short legs. But I catch up to Fawn and I go,
I think they's right. They seems to be heading in the direction I feels the thing, so
Fawn whispers to you, then lead us the rest of the way. Look at what the ants are doing. And you see the ants are just milling about, and Bix is kind of standing there in the middle of them, plugging his ears. And
All right, I gotta go. Thanks, little guys. And then the spell runs out.
just in time.
I can try, but it's not always the best at finding things. I try.
Okay. If you're going to go ahead and try, roll that survival check. And remember, you do have this particular one with advantage.
I need to stop rolling this dice. It's so hard to read. 19?
Was that with advantage?
Yeah, I rolled an
Right.
18 and a 12.
You're pretty certain you know where to go. You can feel the pulse, and it's like a heartbeat. It's not the same heartbeat you grew up with. The warmth of that heartbeat was slightly different. That was home. And this is similar, but not quite the same. And you eventually, you all move through tunnels, and you can see sections of this tunnel is fairly newly excavated, but it's been re-excavated. It's clear that it's been shored up and closed off before. And you finally get to this location where sorry, my voice is going away. I'm going to be unspeaky. No words from me in a second if I don't. But you get to this section of the tunnel that kind of just narrows down to a very dark gap. Something so dark that your eyes can't pierce it. Even those of you with dark vision, you're having a really hard time making out what's going on in that space.
I'm not liking the look of that.
I'm gonna say, hang on, I'm gonna pick up a rock. I'm gonna cast light on that instead, and then chuck it into the dark space.
You
All right.
chuck that rock, and there are things that are normal that you expect to have happen when you chuck an item. One of those is the sound of it hitting something eventually. That is what's missing. As you lose sight of the rock, that's expected. It's dark over there.
And I'm
What
going
is
to say
unexpected
ow.
is the silence.
And I'm going to say ow as I stub my toe as the light suddenly goes away from my rapier. And I am in pitch black.
Then I will turn
Ah!
around.
Right.
After that, I'll turn around and relight your rapier.
Thanks. Oh,
You're welcome. Watch out
Well-
for that rock there.
That seems right. I mean, it just goes. So if you want, we can goes.
let's be smart about this. I'm gonna pull out a baton, one of the pitons, and my rope, and kind of pound that into the wall, tie the rope to it, and go. This gives us 50 feet to try and kind of inch in there, but know we can get back. Who wants to go?
Fawn nods to you and says, yeah, good call. Safety and volunteers. Darthos?
Do I have...
I take out my 50 feet of rope and I say, now we got hundreds.
Let's do 50 first and see where that happens.
I also have 50 feet of rope.
Okay, well, I leaves here.
And I take the end of his rope and I
You leave your
You have a
coil
belt?
there.
What luck that we were all weering our packs when that dragon attacked.
do I have a bell? Is that what you asked?
Do you have a belt?
Oh, belt.
You have a bajillion things all over your body, Darthos.
Let's
What don't
tie
you
that
one of them a
on.
belt.
I am absolutely certain one of them is a belt.
Okay.
Bit of
Mine?
cabling, random powder for magnet practice.
You mind if I tie this on?
No.
Give it a good couple pulls. Make sure it's not going to just
I
slide
fall
off.
over because I'm only like 2 feet high.
Well, not like the really like, but you know, enough where if it pulls against you, but
Okay.
isn't coming off.
I only
so to
stumble a
speak.
little then. You strong.
No, he's strong. I'm just good at hiding.
Well, you stronger than eyes. Maybe. I have a
Funny
negative
little
one on my strength. I said, okay, I goes. If I can't talk, I
Pull the
does
rope.
here.
Pull the rope
Me too.
twice if you're in trouble. 2 sharp tugs, and we'll just start pulling it back.
Okay, and if I's not in trouble?
Go to the end and then make your way back and let us know, and we'll put another 50 feet on.
Well, that
Riss, do you have message or do you have?
I do have message.
I'm gonna take out like from my copper wire collection. Give her some copper wire. Give him some copper wires and be like, here. If you think of me, if you need to.
I mean, I has.
Oh, okay.
You
I'll take it
needs?
back. No, I'm good.
I has.
This is like my whole job. I just take out like a giant handful of copper wire.
Fawn just casually reaches
Wow.
over and grabs one and goes, I just dropped the last one, so sorry about that.
Yours is much bigger than mine.
And I'm just gonna look around and shake my head.
Okay. You'll make me walk all the way back if I run out of rope? Can't I
All
just
right.
tell you?
Tell us. We'll come forward with the next set,
Okay, and I leave my pile of rope
which
Next
I will
step.
pick up.
and I'm gonna head out.
You walk into this.
Yeah.
As you walk in, it is different, but it is still that pulsing feel, and it's so strong. Do you think you ever walked into the one that you know of?
No, it was never kind of like on my
You were.
I was never put
racing
in. Yeah, I was never put in the
Yeah. No.
in the vicinity of it. It's more like just the kind of like the.
So this is an unfamiliar experience to you as you start to and you Bix and Xavier and Fawn, you all watch as Darthos seems to melt into the darkness. But Darthos, what you feel is this tingling sensation kind of begins to spread throughout your body. The world, it's not like you walked into darkness. It feels like to you that the world has faded away and it's been replaced by a kaleidoscope of colors and shapes that dance and twirl and swirl in your mind. And suddenly you feel a jolt. And you're in a different place. The air is thick with the scent of flowers. And off in the distance, you see the soft glow of fireflies.
I go to tug on the rope. Is there still tension?
You see a broken off piece of rope behind you.
And there's nothing else behind me.
There's darkness.
Huh. I'm gonna walk back the other way.
Just as you, Bix and Xavier see the rope go slack suddenly, Darthos comes walking back with a broken piece of rope in hand, coming back out of the darkness. Darthos, again, you feel that same sensation, except this time you come to a drier, mustier smell of dust and fungus.
Wells it's fine. I go somewhere else. I don't know where's, but I backs. I fine. It smells like flowers.
Okay, works for me. This doesn't smell like.
I mean, I knows, and I look at Fawn. I go, I knows you wants to go to Overton, but I mean, this is somewhere else, so
Did you see any of? Oh hell! I'll leave it up to you all. Do you think we should go, or do we find another passage?
What the hell? I just walked through the thing. I just walked forward through the dark.
Vix, as you walk through, you feel that same tingling experience and everything, and then you come out to that rich scent of wildflowers. You see the fireflies off in the distance, and as you've just walked through, you realize that you are standing in the middle of a lush forest, except the trees are stretching way too high, way too far into the sky, and you can hear the sound of laughter and music, and you can see there's a little clearing up ahead.
I'm gonna wait and see if anybody else comes out.
I would have followed him.
Juan
Yeah,
looks at you, Xavier. Are we certain about this?
no, but we can't exactly leave them now, can we?
They're going to do amazing things. They're going to do amazing things. And you realize she's not talking to you. She's just chanting it to herself as she steps into the darkness.
Rourke before each of our sessions.
I am going
Juan is officially my
to
alter ego today.
make sure that there's nothing laying around real quick. Retrieve my baton and
Yeah, you grab the rope that Darthos had left behind, and yeah, you all find yourself standing in the middle of this lush forest. That again, those trees stretching to the sky. They're a strange color, actually. They're not colored as you would normally expect, and you hear the sound of laughter and music, and you can see that same clearing that Bix saw. I would like. Well, Juan's got advantage on this, definitely. I would like anybody who wants to, who feels like they've spent time around uncanny creatures. That's a little stretch here in D&D lore. But feels like they spent time purposefully and trying to understand uncanny creatures, to go ahead and roll a perception check.
I don't.
Maybe just out of book learning or not. It's up to you. Or
What is a 5e or what? Why did I say
I
5e?
think I would look
What is an
into
uncanny
different
creature
things.
in 5e? That's the question I was trying to ask.
Things that you think would be uncanny in the context of the things we've played through so far. It just would seem odd to you all. Like the gifts or I would probably be uncanny in comparison to most
22.
things. They stand out. 22.
All I could think of is maybe someone who like roamed the wilds around Canyonville with his tribe of barbarians or whatever. Maybe like the monsters that were coming out of the village that was halfway between there and Fisherton might be uncanny creatures.
Yeah, I think you could count that. I think go ahead and roll the perception check as well.
Probably does not matter. Or maybe 14.
Okay. Darthos, did you or no? Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Gun and Brad.
I can't even think of like something that would necessarily necessitate the situation, but also like, why would I even try?
I did just talk to 100,000 ants. That was pretty uncanny.
Yeah, you can be the uncanny creature, you know.
Vix, you've seen some strange creatures in your life. You've seen fire that seemed humanoid. You've seen it move out of a crevice of lava and back into it. Your group very quickly decided it wasn't worth investigating, that wasn't a worthy battle to have. And instead, the you all moved on. But you've seen that type of thing occasionally. And there's something to that in what you're seeing, but nothing of fire. Xavier, you think you've seen some of these creatures before. There's a wild mix of them, but you think you've seen, there's one that holds still for only a second, you think, before just disappearing. And you think you've run across these before when you were in Overton. You think this is part of that rumor of the little green people in the hills of Overton,
Oh, okay.
but they're so different here, so strange. And there's some things flying around, and you kind of like look to Fawn because she always has like some bird or whatnot floating in to talk to her, but she's not. She doesn't have any of those. But one thing that I think all three of you recognize as soon as you're through and Fawn is with you, Fawn looks different. Fawn looks more stretched out. Her eyes look bigger. Her teeth seem to suddenly have become a little bit sharper somehow. And it's like she's gone from being the leader of, or co-leader of a quiet, slippery organization like Lutes and Lyres to something almost feral. And you see her smile with glee, which Fawn does not smile.
Boss, you okay?
I feel like I'm home. She reaches her hand down. She touches the soil, and little bits of flour and fireflies just come in and land on her hand as she puts her hand in the dirt. It smells like home.
Where's home?
I don't know. There's no place that's home. Fisherton?
Okay. Well, these things running around, did anybody else ever hear of the little green men? The little green things?
Nope.
Can I roll a history check to see if I
Yeah.
would have?
Yeah, Darthos, you can roll with advantage because you did grow up in Underton. And
I rolled a 3 and a 4
somehow you missed that rumor.
for a total of 7.
Somehow
And-
you might have like walked by somebody talking about little green men, but why would you listen to that garbage?
That's what these remind me of, but not quite. I heard they had helped the Timeless Trio, but I don't know much more. Maybe they'd help us if they're the same thing.
One way to find out.
Oh, wait. There's music and fire over that way. Let me see if I can get close enough to see anything. I can be pretty sneaky when I want to be. Of course, around here.
So I'll go ahead and roll a stealth check if you're creeping up on that. Is everybody else staying back? Fawn's staying back.
I'm wearing a half plate. I'm just going to stay here.
And I'm gonna move at half speed because this is
Clank,
really
clank, clank.
familiar.
Okay, so you really want to get that advantage.
That
on
is
this.
a nat 20.
Hey!
Cool.
Altogether,
Worth it.
that is a 29.
Definitely worth it.
Ah.
Yeah. So
The fire came up. This is the one on the opposite side.
yeah, you are able to approach closer. As you get a little bit closer to this space and what's going on, you kind of still have that sense of wonder and awe, taking in all the sights and sounds of this place. And you kind of, like all of you, are kind of getting the sense that time really doesn't have meaning here in this space. But as you get closer, you make out there are some creatures that you might have mistaken as birds, but you realize that they have humanoid bodies with varied wing shapes. And you see other creatures that are kind of always amorphous, swapping and changing, and humanoid one moment, but then canine in the next. But they seem to be fluid, and in the next moment, they are just a big splash of water before, again, resuming the humanoid form. And then another one is just, you're certain that was a being, but now it's a whirlwind. And then there are others just dancing around, and they have cloven hooves, and others have strange contraptions coming out of every part of their body, swinging around, and you realize that it's a living beehive somehow.
Okay. I am
A
going
cloud of butterflies comes within inches of you without you being spotted and resolves into a humanoid form before they all disperse in multiple directions again.
And then I am going to slip back to the party and describe what I have just seen.
Sounds like he's been into the special drugs that Trixie keeps down below.
Looking at it, felt like I might have done that, but I've never seen anything like it. They didn't appear hostile, but I don't know. They seem to be celebrating almost, but I don't know if that's the right term for it either. Like a beehive.
You're muted.
Perhaps we should go say hello.
Should we all go, or should just one of us at first? I can be pretty persuasive and diplomatic if need be.
Well, what about Fonz's? Fonz's says she feels like home. So maybe they is recognizing her?
Could all three of you, as Darthos says, Fawn, roll a perception check?
Fawn has left the building.
Natural 20.
19 plus 9 is 28.
Okay,
Or no, plus 12. Plus 12.
Vix, your natural 20 plus what is it normally?
5, so 25.
Okay.
I'm at 31.
Okay, and what did you get, Darthos?
To be fair, I rolled a 2 and a 4, so it's not like the disadvantage is really fucking me over at all.
Yeah, okay, so...
I just don't have a dice jail.
I just feel like you're standing there like this.
On her stealth check, she rolled a 33.
Oh,
Jesus.
I was close. I
So-
couldn't have even gotten it with a natural.
So it
20.
isn't really until Darthos says, what about Fawn's, is that you start looking around for her, and then you spot her off in the distance in the meadow, dancing with the other beings.
There you go.
She has never looked so carefree.
Mm.
And it's frightening, given how she never looks carefree.
Boss looks pretty chill.
Anybody else ever seen her like that at all?
Well, knows. She's usually serious. All's about the business.
Unless she's attacking something and having some fun that way. And that's not attacking.
You can see that the fairy-like creatures and other fey creatures are swirling with her and inviting her in and exchanging garments and adding things to her ensemble. The sounds of harps and flutes and drums, which are not in visible presence, pick up, and then she pulls out a flute, and suddenly everyone has flutes in their hands out there. It's mesmerizing. I need you to roll charisma saving throws as you watch.
Oh no. Oh, don't fly out the thing.
17.
16.
3.
Okay, so
That is
Bix,
the
for a
second
small
dice to roll a
creature,
2.
Darthos televises everything that Darthos is about to do. And Darthos is walking straight towards the swirling madness. Xavier, you feel the pull and you try to resist, but you are being pulled. I need you to roll another charisma saving throw after I give Bix a chance to react to Darthos.
Okay.
I'm just going to grab Darthos by like the scruff collar and just pick him up.
Darthos, you're held up by the scruff of your collar, but you still feel yourself moving forward, even though you're really not. And you're drawn in, and your vision is being pulled towards the center of that swirling circle of joy and celebration, laughter and merriment. All troubles can be forgotten, and you can revel in the beauty of life. That's all going through your head, Darthos. Xavier.
Guessing Fawn didn't roll as high on her save as her charisma check.
Not at all. Xavier,
12.
as you're pulling, what you rolled a 12 this time?
Yeah.
Yeah, your head is also filling with this, and you're realizing that you can forget all worries of the mortal world there. You can lose yourself in the magic of the moment. No more concerning yourself with the political diaspora and
I think I'm going to start
leveraging
dropping
this
my...
person versus that person. You just, and as you do,
I'm taking off my backpack because it's like, oh, this is heavy.
as you do, an individual with little horns coming out of their head and a bright, beatific smile hands you a beautiful scarf in place of it. And now you're part of this swirling circle with a resplendent scarf. Darthos, you're being held up in the air, and you see Xavier moving towards this, and Vix is holding you in the air, and you feel like you're a little fairy flying with the other.
I was gonna say I was gonna start like swimming in the air, thinking I was floating.
With my other hand, I'm gonna take out my songhorn, and I'm just gonna be like,
roll a performance check, Bix.
That's a dirty 20.
Oh, you beat the 18 that I was going to tell you how to beat. You hear it pierces you. Well, it's closest to you, Darthos. So you are almost deafened by this horrific, cacophonous destruction of this beautiful moment. Xavier, you're in this space in this moment, and then this horn comes from the distance and pierces the bubble and breaks it, and you see everybody falter in their steps. The dance is slowing down. I give you another chance to roll a charisma saving throw. Fawn also has a charisma saving throw to go.
After I stop blowing, I will say, y'all are being charmed. Thank you. Thank you very much.
16 again.
Let me just go back here. Bix, you have advantage against being charmed. Did you roll with advantage last time, Bix?
I did not.
Can you just roll another d20?
I messaged him that, but
That's fine. The other one was higher anyway.
Okay, cool. So as that's all happening, and Xavier, you're stumbling, and you rolled a 16 again, so you're trying to recover. You look up, and as you look up, you see this sylph swirling in space, her smile gazing at you, and she hands you a beautiful set of silk gauntlets. Who doesn't want silk gauntlets? I need you to roll another wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
have I snapped out of it?
19. Oh no, wisdom? Yeah, 19.
Charisma saving throw from
Charisma
Darthos.
is still 19. Both fours.
Okay, so you as the gloves are about to touch your hands, you shake yourself and you realize that you're sitting in the middle of a circle. And there's Fawn dancing merrily, although she has also faltered in this moment and is looking at you in confusion. Some of her normal stoicism restoring itself.
I'm gonna walk up, still holding Darthos in one hand, be like, "Hello, boss."
As you say hello, boss, you see several of the creatures kind of swirling off into the forest and disappearing, but 3 of them stop dancing and look around and realize that there are the 4 of you here. And
then I will message Fawn and say, "Wake up!"
She shakes her head and looks at you. You hear in your head, "God damn it. Who saw that?"
Everybody.
Saw what?
Darthos just says,
What
"You're a
happened?
good dancer." It's a flute.
Is
Xavier.
Darthos out of it now?
We need memory wipes for all of us.
I'm gonna go assume that while I kind of saw it, I didn't see it per se, like totally in that moment of other stuff. So
As the four of you are kind of like regaining sense, Darthos is very clearly regained their sense, but still being held aloft apparently by Vix at this moment, I guess.
I'll put Darthos down if you're fine now.
The three beings look at you. Mortals, where are you doing here? This is not a safe place for you.
Let me tell you. We came through a portal. It was over there.
we're
You
just trying to get home.
are such a strange, and Vix, I need you to roll a charisma check with advantage because you just being ridiculous.
12.
You are a strange fellow. Are all mortals as strange as this one? And this being looks at you, Xavier, and Darthos, and Fawn in turn.
We can be at times, I guess.
So you came through one of the dark patches.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Well, it wasn't a blueberry patch.
I'm guessing you didn't intend to be here. And you can see like the consternation is getting higher and higher. We don't need you here. Would you go away?
Would you help us?
Do you know how to get to Overton?
I really wanted to say Sesame Street.
Do you mean where that one's from? And you can see this being point at Darthos.
Yes.
Oh, if you promise never to come back.
I would promise never to come back on purpose.
What he said.
If you promise to never come back on purpose or purposefully, accidentally, purposefully.
Well, okay.
If that's the case,
The one to their side steps forward and goes, will you kill somebody for me? You can ignore him, but if you kill someone, I'll let you through.
no.
No.
The third one says, well, they're no fun. Kiss me and I'll let you through. And they smile and then fangs everywhere.
You seem kind of bitey.
The kiss will be sweet.
I'm just staring up at all of y'all like,
Give me a moment.
I'll be like, it's cool. I'm just gonna sit down. Like, we're just gonna stay then. Like, if you don't want to help us, we'll just stay here because we don't know where to go. So it's fine. We'll just hang out. I'm gonna like take out my tinderbox, like start fucking lighting a fire, putting the camp together.
The one who first spoke looks really, really upset. Let's come back into focus here. Looks really, really upset. But every time it goes to do something, the one who offered murder as an option glares at them and they stop.
I will bless this realm with my song forever. It's my camp setting up song.
Fawn speaks up finally. Do you need a kiss from all of us?
What about a dice game?
All three of them perk up. A game of chance from your mortal world.
Yes, and I'll pull out my dice set. Well, I'll run back to my backpack and grab out my dice set because I dropped my back and pick that up along the way.
And are all of you playing or just the one?
I'll play for all of us.
Ooh. And if you fail, I get to, and this is the third one that offered the kiss, I get to keep you forever in my collection.
And if I win, you lead us out of here and we can come and go as we please.
Ooh. I love the thrill of the danger that presents and the opportunity. Deal. And as she says deal, the entire forest around you glimmers in gold for a second in a kind of swirling pattern, and then the forest becomes still. Let us play.
Look at Xavier. I'm going to play my song horn back. Do you feel inspired?
You feel inspired by the torture of that instrumental rift.
D6.
I hope you all appreciate what I'm doing here for you.
And I walk up and I just kind of like tug on his sleeve and then pat his arm and say,
Use a stupid, but hopefully use a lucky.
All right. So Xavier has just agreed to play a dice game with Faye. And of course, Faye have a dice game that they like to play. So what I need you to do, it's like poker, but with D6s. And only
Okay.
the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You roll 5d6. If you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on your first roll, and we'll just have it at that point there, that's the highest you can actually roll. But then there's, all the normal poker rules kind of apply, but again, with just D6s. So if I rolled 2 2s and 3
It's a full
4s,
house.
full house.
Yeah.
All those basic things. It's just with D6. So the one exception is just if you get a straight, that beats everything.
Okay. And what does my inspiration do for me in this little version?
oh, my touch was giving him guidance, by the way.
Well, first off, I think that there is
Plus,
the
this
draw
is my
period.
dice set.
There's the draw
which-
period. It's your dice set. It's also, are you do you have dice as a skill? Did you take that as a thing? Like, are you? Yes, you're proficient in dice set. So
that's one of the things I could pick, so I grabbed it.
So here's how I think we're going to translate all of this. For the dice set and being proficient in that, you can cheat with sleight of hand and re-roll one of your dice.
Okay.
For Bix's inspiration, you can use that dice to add to another dice to change the total. So you can use another d6 to add to it. So if you roll 1 and you really wanted a 4, you can roll a second increase it.
Okay.
And for Darthos's guidance, say you can roll a d4 to shift a dice to. Actually, let's make both a d4 so they're more useful.
Okay.
So Bix gives you a d4 to change it, and Darthos gives you a d4 to change it. And those d4s can be add or minus. You decide which way they go.
Okay. I only have 4 d6s, so I'm going to roll 4, and then I'll roll 2 more. Ooh, 2, 3. Yeah. Then roll 2 more.
Do you want to?
All right, so I'm going to use.
He's concentrating. Be quiet.
I'm waiting until he rolls his dice. I need to wait patiently as like I can.
All right, I'm going to try and use sleight of hand to.
Okay, roll first a d20 to see how successful you are with the sleight of hand.
Yep.
If you're not already proficient in sleight of hand, which I think you should be, because this is your dice set, you can roll with the proficiency.
That would be a dirty 20.
Okay. Feel like nobody noticed.
Okay, so I'm changing that one to a 1. And then I am going to use one of the d4s to try and add 3 to this final dice.
Okay.
That adds 1 to it. And I'll use the other one to try and add 2 more to it. Gave up the 2, so that makes that a 6. So that gives me a straight. I'm not even kidding.
So keeping it hidden, she looks at you. Do you want to raise the stakes?
What do you have in mind?
I'm feeling lucky. What if we play again in a week? And if I win, you take me with you. Or we could just play now.
I think we played for what we were playing for.
If you win, I'll give you riches beyond all imaginings. And as she holds out her hand, you can see emeralds just spill from her fingers.
I would like to roll to see if that's an illusion and if I can see through it.
Roll an investigation check.
Ooh, investigation? I will also try.
Okay, roll an
Because it's
investigation
not
check.
perception.
That's a 3.
Oh,
so
I rolled 2 out of habit, but
Look like emeralds to you,
I'm
Bex.
just gonna re-roll. Investigation. It's a 21.
It looks like emeralds, like legit emeralds. They're not disappearing at any point. They just seem to keep pouring from her hand.
Don't be greedies. Stick to the jobs.
We're playing for what we're playing for now.
Okay, well, if you ever feel like playing again, and as she waves her hand, you can see the forest shift and change, and now you're in a tavern-looking space. Just come through that door over there, and she gestures off in the distance. And Darthos, you know this tavern. This is not a public tavern. This is a private tavern. Cart bolds only.
Ooh.
And then
Using-
it evaporates. I'll take you on your way out then. Where did you want to be?
Well, we're trying to get back to Overton, right?
Fawn just looks at you like you're a nutcase. Yes. How? What just happened?
So let's go.
Okay. Following this.
And then I'm going to take
Faye.
a second real quick, though, and turn and just be like, like,
So the 3 of you following this, or the 4 of you following this, being, you make your way to a patch of darkness again, but it's not the same patch you were at before. This one is circled by mushrooms, and you actually can make out the space and what it feels like and looks like. And Darthos, to you, you feel the right pulse. This
And
feels like the thing on your side.
I'm going to stop a second and go, Darthos, and flick a dice. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Because I was tempted.
Well, I gets it. Is pretty shinies, and you can use them for lots of stuffs. But
As you look up, the eyes, you make eye contact with this Fae being. Would you like to play?
Misa?
he doesn't want to play.
No, I's super
Darthos.
unlucky. I's unlucky. Is okay. I don't do the dices. I don't do the gamblings.
Well, I welcome you at any point, and you, my friend, I might as well try it all. And looks straight at you, Bix.
Pass. You couldn't handle the gloves.
And
That's
there's
okay.
almost a silent shake of the head from Fawn before it even makes eye contact. So I don't play with my own kind. Don't worry about it, kid. And Fawn just looks startled at the familiarity that has been addressed to her before that dark space suddenly expands out and all four of you find yourself in a dark tunnel outside of a familiar, but not a frequently visited tavern, Darthos. And I need everybody to roll d20s, wisdom saving throws.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I don't think this is gonna be
13 usually
good.
doesn't save much.
9.
Also 13.
I'm still shook from that game.
You all appear in this dark tunnel outside of a tavern you know well, Darthos, with no memory of what just transpired.
Oh.
From the moment you went into darkness till this darkness, you feel like you just literally stepped from one dark space to this dark space.
Oh,
Hey, it goes right to under.
Shush. Yous are not supposed to be here's. This not place for use peoples.
Hey, my dice set feels light.
Feels light.
I'm missing one. Huh. I have to pick up another. It took me a long time to break that one in.
Juan looks at the three of you. Well, apparently that works. Do you want to try to double check it and go back through? No, we have things to do.
Yeah, we're here now.
How do we get out of here, Darthos?
and I just I'm assuming I know the way. Do I need
Oh,
to
yeah.
roll a survival check?
No,
Or like a history check?
Is
Okay.
my rapier
Yeah.
still glowing?
No, it's not glowing.
Well, where the heck are we going? I can't see. Ah! Stubbed my toe again.
Fawn grabs your hand, which is pretty impressive. And she says, I can feel things within 10 feet. As long as those two keep us straight, we're fine.
I'm going to turn it around and touch his rapier and put a little fluorescent moss on it. There you go. Light.
Much better. Thank you.
Anybody who casts spells while they're in the Feywild, by the way, doesn't know why they've lost that spell slot. I don't think anybody casts spells. I was trying to pay attention to that. But
I was out of spells. I only have 2.
I mean, you mean the bardic inspiration?
Oh, the Bardic Inspiration is gone. You are
Oh.
missing that. So you wonder like why you feel slightly less capable in that space.
I'm actually out because I'm level 1 bard, so I only had 2.
Oh yeah. You're. But yeah, you all make your way eventually to the top to Overton, and
I'm kind of hungry. That didn't seem like it took that long.
maybe those things drain you. I don't know. There's weird things that have happened. The trio, they legitimately disappeared for 8 years
Good point.
and are the same age they were when they disappeared.
Well, hopefully it hasn't been 8 years.
You just see total fear flash on Fawn's face for a second.
Well,
Let's
one's
get out
way to
there.
find out.
There you all follow. Are you all following Darthos out?
Yep.
Yes.
It does take a couple of hours to get out. It is deep within the Cartbold territory, well past the public transit system that they've established to serve the Overton and Underton communities. But eventually you come to the bright light of day, and that's where we're going to end this session.
Hey!
Hey.
Ah!
That was a little intense.
Listen,
Thank-
do you need me to go back and repeat any musical stylings? Because,
yeah, just like all of them.
I want a full album.
The next time we're in the Feywilds and someone asks if you want to make a deal, you say no.
Except you never
That worked
remember
out.
that you should do that.
Uh,
Thank
What
you all
fun
very
is it
much.
to say, eh?
I know, but
Thank you all very much for joining us as we had this fun one shot, which who knows, maybe in the future we'll come back to these characters because why not?
means
But-
I hope so.
It's
There
a
we
little
go.
bit like Jar Jar and a little bit like my goblin from way back
Oh
when.
yes,
Yeah.
Goblin.
Without
the
the
That's
speech
fucking
impediment.
Annie.
No, I had this goblin named Thora because she was like a lightning barbarian, like lightning. I can't remember what the exact subclass is, but
She didn't say her Oz. So it was like, I would like to wage. But the first time she actually spilled blood, she fainted because she'd never actually killed anybody before.
That's awesome.
So like, she had like that kind of like, I would like to wage. But yeah, I kind of miss her every once in a while.
Oh.
She had bright bubblegum pink pigtails too.
Thank you all for joining us. This was so much fun to have a little fun one shot in the midst of our ongoing campaign. Hope you have a brilliant night and bye.
And buy some birds.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.